Hi guys, I am Rick Schreiber. I own the Infinite Mushroom Comic and Game Shop in beautiful historic downtown Titusville. We opened this shop in 2014, July. So we've been open for a little over 5 years. A comic book shop and a game shop, I mean, that's a center of a very cool community. I mean, really it is. You attract some very creative people, everybody's cool, everybody's nice. It's not a typical retail endeavor. It is a very niche kind of a place, and it goes through a metamorphosis about every 6 months, and we're actually starting to morph a little bit. We're coming out of a different cocoon now, and I see us going much more heavily into board games, into vinyl. So yeah, it gives you a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things with a lot of different products, and also you're dealing with pop culture. Is it helping now? Not really. If I was in Melbourne, if I was in Merritt Island, if I was in Orlando, North Orlando, Daytona Beach probably even, it may. But we are in North Brevard County. We are in Titusville, okay? There's a reason we're up here by ourselves, okay? We're a very strange community. But we also are a very special community. But no, pop culture really didn't have a lot of, has not added a lot other than people know to come here to get certain items. And actually, what attracts people here most isn't Marvel, it isn't Star Wars. Doctor Who brings the most people into the shop. When the Avengers came out, I think whatever it was when I was next to them all, I brought a lot of merchandise in for that particularly. It was like it just sat there and it did absolutely nothing. People didn't care about that. You have to be careful in this business not to overestimate your clientele, because there's a Walmart and you cannot compete with Walmart, so do not try to, and do not try to compete with Amazon. You have to find your own way when you have a niche shop like this. And unfortunately with Walmart here, it does eat into a lot of different things. Day-to-day changes, dealing with customers is the most thing. I mean, there is paperwork, you gotta deal with the state, you gotta deal with feds. You have to deal with your own paperwork to see and to make adjustments with your inventory and different things like that. Most of the time, you deal with customers, that which is not a bad thing. I love dealing with customers. I love talking to folk, and yeah, a day checking in comics, doing a comic book order. Really, that's about it. I think it'd be very easy for someone to get into comics. I mean, Batman's off the rails right now. Marvel's redoing a lot of stuff, and I'm really looking forward, especially with Ghost Rider and a few other things that they have coming out. Morbius just came out, and he's gonna have his own movie, if I'm not mistaken, coming out here shortly, so that's a good thing. But there's so many great Batman titles. DC's doing wonderful stuff with their Black Label titles, which basically were Vertigo, but now they closed Vertigo down and brought over everything to DC, and they're for mature readers. Most popular stuff at the shop is what I keep in stock: Magic the Gathering. It's the world's best game right now. It's been out for over 25 years. And comics, that's my next most profitable or my next bestseller, I should say. Comics, books, trades, that kind of trade paperbacks, which is a collection of comic books, graphic novels, that sort of thing. And also D&D, Dungeons and Dragons. Making friends at a nerd hangout is one of the easiest things to do, especially for me, because I'm atypical of someone who comes into the shop. I'm very outgoing. I'm a football coach. I love being around people. A lot of times people come in here are socially awkward, and you have to take your time with them. And it takes sometimes months, it's taken me sometimes years to become friends with these people, but it's great seeing them come out of their shell. More people make friends playing Dungeons and Dragons than anything else. Or Magic the Gathering. If you're face to face, if you're in a social setting with other people, other like-minded people who like the same things you do, you're gonna make friends. I think it'd be twofold. First thing is have enough money to go into it when you go into it. You're not gonna make money for the first 3 years, okay? How I pay my bills, I don't know, okay? Max credit cards out, I did all kind of crap. And you don't wanna live like that. Do not do this on a song on a prayer, because it is just, it will tear you apart. Yeah, and also another lesson, and probably the main lesson other than having money would be, don't get too invested in what you're doing. And what I mean by that is, don't be afraid to morph your store or whatever, website, whatever it is. If you see things going in a different direction than what you want them to go in, change and go with that. Go with the river. Don't go against the current. comics, as much as I love them, I mean, they sell, but it's not as much as what I thought it was going to be. You know, every week it seems I put $200 or $300 worth of books back on the shelf. That's no way to stay in business. So you start cutting that down and start putting that money back into board games, or Up Your Magic, or Pokemon, something, Dungeons and Dragons. Put that money where it's going to sell, and you can start making more money and invest that into other areas that may do well also. So don't be set in your ways, in other words. Just go with the flow and you'll be fine.